Hi people. We all love to binge TV series. We love whoever we find the opportunity to. The show that we go back to over and over again with that purpose is no other than Yellowstone. The series has always been number one on our list with its creativity, acting, story, and landscape. Whenever we watch the series, we feel like we have been transferred into yet another universe filled with horses, local politics, and a lot of family drama. Well, it seems like the show creator Taylor Sheridan was thinking the same because he decided to come up with multiple new series with the intent of expanding the Yellowstone universe. One of those series is 4 Sixes, which is a true sequel taking place in modern-day Texas. This is a great move because it allows Sheridan to explore what he can do in Texas, which is often seen as the heart of Western life. The series is still at the production stage, and we are already sure that it will be the perfect show for the fans and enthusiasts of the country lifestyle. The other series is 1883, which is already being released and managed to become an instant fan favorite. The show is set in the 19th century, focusing on the aftermath of the Civil War years, when there were massive societal changes. These changes were often troubling since people were ambitious but the resources were limited. When the lack of authority was added to the equation, the people were left with lots of bandits and a lack of security. Such circumstances caused Duttons to have the most adventurous, but also the most tragic journey ever as they were trying to move from Tennessee to the north. It was sad, heartbreaking, but also extremely engaging at the same time, which made us want more of it immediately. Unfortunately, though, Sheridan had other plans. He decided to come up with yet another prequel series titled 1932 instead of following 1883 with a simple Season 2. But even though 1932's production didn't even start yet, we can already say that the series will be a lot different than 1883. Sheridan explained his mentality of leaving 1883 behind as a one-season miniseries as follows. I created this peek through time to show you this one specific journey. I'm not someone who likes to tie everything up in a bow and explain how everyone lived happily after or didn't. I'd rather you imagine it and wonder what Thomas and Naomi made of their lives. You never get to see how James and Margaret moved on. You did see them in a flashback as having moved on, and so that's what I cared to explore. On to the next peek through the window. I'd also wanted to create something you could watch and be completely enthralled and fulfilled, having never seen Yellowstone. Let it live on its own merits. Yes, for those fans of Yellowstone, there are some real Easter eggs and understanding you can take away from that inform the way you watch Yellowstone. I like that model. For me, as a storyteller, it feels close-ended. I'm going to peek through the window of a different era and see what I see then. From this interview, we get that Sheridan likes some things to the imagination and doesn't like to ponder upon the same story constantly. So, his in search of the change in 1932 will provide him with the change he needs. In 1932, we will witness 50 years after 1883. In those 50 years, the world has gone through a world war, a global economic crisis, and a prohibition period that gripped the U.S. Well, since Sheridan is a fan of exploring the characteristics of a specific era and including them in his shows, we expect all these elements to take a seat in the series. For instance, it's likely for this show to have a protagonist who will probably be John Dutton Sr., that has fought in the World War and thus suffers from a condition similar to post-traumatic stress disorder. Of course, this will immediately remind you of Peaky Blinders, and we believe the series will be a great inspiration for 1932. Since both are covering the same period, we can already predict that we will watch an American version of Peaky Blinders. This means that we will have a show that's darker, grimmer, and more brutal than the other ones. It would be foolish to claim that Yellowstone or 1883 are happy, wholesome series. But even the color palette of both series provides us with some sort of hope that suggests things will be alright eventually. Thus, even the most tragic incidents don't hurt as much as we already can sense that there is tranquility in what's been going on. But since the war and Great Depression both have caused the US public to suffer tremendously and created a gloomier atmosphere, we believe the color palette of Sheridan will change for once and take a more gray turn rather than the orange one. This shift will transform everything and make sure 1932 will stand out among others. But we also believe that even though the series begins with such a negative atmosphere, it will gradually progress to take a more positive turn since Duttons are not ones to be failures and will eventually come out as the winners regardless of the circumstances. This means that the Duttons will be the ones who turn the bad situations into opportunities and establish a business out of them. As we witness the Dutton land turning into a massive ranch, the color palette will slowly get orange, leaving the gray days behind. The first hint of such change will be given us in the 1932 trailer, which will probably be released around April 2023 and will look nothing like the other Yellowstone universe trailers. What are your expectations from 1932? Let us know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. Thank you for watching. See you soon.